Help me welcome Brent Green. Don't stop thinking. Don't stop thinking. Brent Green.
Thank you, Robert. Well, when I had a little less than a day to get ready, I thought, well, what could I talk about? And so I thought, let's talk about current events. You remember when we did that in school? So anyway, here's the Wall Street Journal, and right on the cover is Hillary, just announcing that she's going to run for president. So let's go ahead and look through the news and see what else is in there. Oh, we had another politician announce his bid for presidency. And the number one poll quote from his announcement was as follows. Just yesterday, a leader from yesterday began a campaign for president by promising to take us back to yesterday. I'm Hillary's generation. I'm of the same age. That means I'm yesterday. Oh, by the way, so are a bunch of you sitting in this room. You're yesterday too. Well, let's have a little reality discussion, because as you go through the Wall Street Journal, there's a lot of interesting articles. And maybe this article on transhumanism can best be summarized by somebody from yesterday, few people from my generation. Something's happening here, and what it is isn't exactly clear. Western countries and most Eastern countries are getting older faster than in all of history. Of all the people who have turned the age of 65, half of them are alive today. Now keep in mind, of the 7 billion people who are alive today, 100 billion people have lived and died in the last 55,000 years. So to say that half of all people 65 are alive today is incredible. Well, this aging business isn't new. Those cards were played in the 1950s, the 1960s during the birth boom. So suddenly we're having an age boom. And it's going to continue rumbling right through the 21st century. You members of Generation X and you millennials are in line. We're going to keep aging. But something else is happening that's quite unique. We are living in an era of transformational technologies accelerating at an exponential pace. We are living in an era of transformational technologies accelerating at an exponential pace. Now, what does that actually mean? Our brains are to think linear. So if I say I'm going to take 30 paces that way, you kind of know where I'll end up, right back where the coffee is, where I usually head anyway. Now, but if I say I'm going to take 30 exponential steps, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. When I get to my 30th step, I will have circumnavigated the globe 26 times, equivalent to 1 billion linear steps. Now that's what's happening to our technologies right now. Genetic, robotic, information, nanotechnologies are accelerating that fast, changing everything in our lives. Let me give you an example. You all have one of those examples with you today. In 1976, Seymour Cray sold a Cray 1A supercomputer to NCAR, the National Center for Atmospheric Research, for $38 billion in today's dollars. 38 million in today's dollars. Did anybody pay $38 million for their cell phone? Now, look at this little wonder that we carry. Its graphics processor is 1,000 times faster than the Cray supercomputer. I don't know about you, but I paid about $200 for my cell phone plus a 2-year service plan. Something's changing, and it's changing quite rapidly, and it's the convergence of a couple of forces that we can hardly understand. So as we go through the paper, it looks like a politician from New Jersey also announced this week that he is contemplating a presidential run. What did he announce that his primary focus is going to be? Dismantling Social Security, That is his number one goal. I think that's quite interesting because he wants to make the age of eligibility 70 and he wants to reduce benefits in proportion to your income. So Social Security will no longer be a retirement program, a pillar of most retirement programs in the US. It will become a welfare program. How interesting. Quite a jump. As I looked into the paper, I also discovered that there's a scorecard that came out about all the countries, 133 countries in the world. That scorecard is called the Social Progress Index. It was developed by Michael Porter at Harvard University last year. This is the second year. They look at data from 133 countries. They look at 52 indexes. And it looks at how people and how countries really fare on the area of being progressive socially. How's the US doing? We're always number one. I mean, we can completely obliterate the earth. Our iPhones are used by terrorists for Twitter communications. Young kids all over the world listen to Beyonce. We're number one. No, we're number 16. And it gets more depressing from there. The life expectancy in the United States ranks 30th of 133 countries. 80 countries have suicide rates lower than the United States. So maybe our newest politicians, the newest bundle that are proposed to lead us, are not thinking about the right problems. Maybe they should be focusing, for example, on our economic development. Maybe what we need is a moonshot, like John F. Kennedy. We should go to the moon in 10 years, bring a man back safely after we do so. Maybe we should be the number one country in the world in 10 years, in 2025, in genetics, robotics, and information technologies. GRIN technologies. Maybe we're thinking about the wrong things. Maybe our prospective leaders should be thinking about improving our performance on the Social Progress Index. Maybe they wouldn't want to decouple a program, one of which has been the most successful in the history of this country, a pillar for most retirement programs, and not turn it into welfare. Well, I don't know about you, after all these uplifting speeches today, this might be this might be enough current events for today. But let's leave you with another thought from members of my generation from yesterday. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow.